While Meghan and Kate are lucky to become Cinderella in the fairy tale of their lives, not every woman who enters the royal family is like that, typically Sarah Ferguson. Coming from a childhood full of events, it was thought that becoming Prince Andrew's wife would bring luck to Sarah's life. But not. The end of this marriage is even more tragic than what she has ever experienced. Please stay calm to listen to the tragic story of Sarah Ferguson. Sarah Ferguson, affectionately known as Fergie, married into the British royal family, but her life story deviates from the classic Cinderella narrative. From the outset, Fergie was embedded in Britain's upper class. Her father, Major Ronald Ivor Ferguson, managed the Prince of Wales's polo team, placing her in close proximity to royal circles even before her marriage to Prince Andrew. Fergie's childhood was marked by privilege and comfort. She attended two prestigious private schools, Daneshill School in Hampshire and Hurst Lodge School. These institutions are known for their rigorous academics and elite social circles, preparing their students for significant roles in society. Her home life further underscored her affluent upbringing. Fergie spent her early years on a rural estate named Drummer Down Farm. This estate, located in the heart of what is often referred to as Jane Austen country, spans a remarkable 800 acres. Such an expansive property not only reflects wealth, but also offers a picturesque and serene environment typical of the idyllic British countryside. Before Drummer Down Farm, Fergie lived at Lowood House, a large white Edwardian residence. She described it as a big white Edwardian house, hinting at its grandeur and historical significance. The combination of these residences provided Fergie with a luxurious and stable upbringing, albeit not at the opulent level of the royal family. Despite the lavish surroundings, her father made efforts to keep her grounded. Major Ferguson's advice, "Remember that the kitchen's more important than the dining room table," was a reminder of the importance of humility and understanding the value of hard work. This lesson was intended to instill a sense of responsibility and awareness of her privileged position. Her childhood, while comfortable, had its imperfections. Fergie's family life was not without its challenges, but these did not overshadow the overall sense of security and tranquility that characterized her early years. This peaceful and affluent background made the subsequent events in her life all the more poignant. Despite her privileged upbringing, Sarah Ferguson faced significant emotional and familial challenges in her early life. At the age of 13, her world was upended when her parents, Major Ronald Ivor Ferguson and Susan Wright, separated. This separation marked the beginning of a tumultuous period for young Sarah. Her mother's departure was particularly abrupt and jarring. Susan Wright swiftly eloped with an Argentine polo player, Hector Barrantes, leaving Sarah and her older sister, Jane, behind in England. This sudden family breakup left Sarah feeling abandoned and adrift. "I became head of the house at 13, with my sister going to live in Australia," she recounted to the Financial Times. Her father, deeply affected by the separation, immersed himself in his work with horses and polo, leaving Sarah to navigate her adolescence largely on her own. The emotional impact of her mother's departure was compounded by a history of abuse. In the 2011 documentary Finding Sarah, she revealed the extent of the physical and emotional abuse she endured from her mother. She recounted how her mother would hit her for minor infractions, such as not sitting on her potty or refusing to eat. This abuse left physical and psychological scars. Sarah vividly described how a vein would appear on her forehead, which her mother interpreted as a sign of the devil. This constant berating and physical punishment instilled a deep sense of unworthiness and self-doubt in Sarah from a very young age. When her mother left for Argentina, Sarah was left with feelings of abandonment and emotional desolation. She described feeling pointless, emotionally bankrupt, unlovable, and worthless. Her father's strict demeanor did little to alleviate these feelings. Major Ferguson, though a figure of authority and discipline, was emotionally distant. His preoccupation with his polo career and his own melancholia left Sarah without the parental support she desperately needed during this critical period of her life. After navigating a challenging childhood, Sarah Ferguson, also known as Fergie, began to carve out her own identity and career. Initially, she found her footing in the publishing industry, securing a job that allowed her to lead a relatively ordinary life. During these years, she enjoyed a degree of anonymity and normalcy that stood in stark contrast to the tumultuous years of her youth. However, this semblance of normalcy was abruptly shattered when she entered the royal spotlight at the age of 26. The tabloids discovered that she was dating Prince Andrew, and her life was irrevocably changed. Almost overnight, she went from being a private citizen to a public figure scrutinized by the media. The tabloids were relentless, and Sarah found herself labeled as a wild party girl due to her vivacious personality and striking red hair. Her humor and vibrant personality, which endeared her to some, also became fodder for the media. "When you have a sense of humor and you're a redhead, everyone takes you for a big hurricane," she told people. "But sometimes you don't always want to be the storm." This portrayal painted her as a disruptive force within the royal family, a narrative that was difficult for Sarah to navigate. The media's focus on her appearance and behavior was often cruel and invasive. Life as a tabloid sensation came with significant challenges. The press dubbed her the Duchess of Pork, a derogatory nickname that targeted her weight and appearance. This public ridicule exacerbated her existing self-esteem issues, stemming from her troubled childhood. Being vilified in the media took a toll on her mental health, compounding the trauma she had already endured. Sarah's struggle with her public image was a constant battle. The media's unrelenting scrutiny and harsh criticisms made her life incredibly difficult. "I had major mental health problems because of the trauma," she revealed to people. The relentless negativity from the press intensified her feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness, which had been ingrained in her from a young age. Sarah Ferguson officially entered the British royal family in 1986 when she married Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. The wedding was a grand spectacle befitting a royal occasion, held at the iconic Westminster Abbey. This event captured the world's attention, with an estimated 500 million viewers tuning in to watch the ceremony. The celebration included the famous kiss on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, a moment that has since become an enduring image of royal romance. Following the lavish ceremony, Sarah and Andrew embarked on a romantic honeymoon to the Azores Islands, setting the stage for what many hoped would be a fairy tale marriage. However, the reality of royal life soon proved to be far from the idyllic fantasy that Sarah might have envisioned. The transition from her relatively private life into the relentless public scrutiny of the royal family was both abrupt and overwhelming. Almost immediately, Sarah found herself under intense pressure from two formidable fronts: the voracious British press and the demanding expectations of the royal family. The media's fascination with Sarah was unrelenting. They scrutinized her every move, often focusing on her appearance and behavior. This intense and often critical spotlight created an environment of constant pressure and stress. Sarah was quickly branded with unflattering nicknames and caricatures, further exacerbating her insecurities and self-esteem issues. The tabloids were particularly cruel, labeling her the Duchess of Pork and casting her as the royal family's scapegoat. These public humiliations took a significant toll on her mental health, amplifying the emotional scars from her troubled childhood. Within the royal family, Sarah faced another set of challenges. The rigid protocols and expectations of royal duties left her feeling stifled. She was expected to adhere to a strict code of conduct and navigate the complex dynamics of the royal household. This environment, which demanded conformity and restraint, clashed with Sarah's vibrant and spontaneous personality. In her writings, she described feeling like a stiffly disciplined woman, drowning in duty. The expectations placed upon her were immense, and the freedom she once enjoyed was now replaced with a sense of entrapment and suffocation. During her marriage to Prince Andrew, Sarah Ferguson formed an exceptionally close bond with Princess Diana. Both women were of similar age and had married into the royal family under the intense scrutiny of the public and the press. Their shared experiences created a deep connection and friendship that was both a source of strength and solace for them. She and I were the only two who really understood what it was like back in the 80s. The pressure was ferocious, and yet together, the two of us were powerful, Sarah told Metro. This power wasn't derived from their royal status, but from the love and support they offered each other as they navigated the complexities of royal life. Their friendship was a sanctuary amid the relentless pressures of royal duties and public expectations. They confided in each other, finding empathy and understanding that no one else in their circle could provide. This unique bond was crucial in helping them cope with the ferocity of the media and the demands placed upon them by their roles. As Sarah noted, nobody else is left who understands those days. However, the media's fascination with both women often manifested as attempts to pit them against each other. The tabloids thrived on drama and controversy, and the friendship between Sarah and Diana was no exception. Everybody wanted to see a feud because we were so strong together, Sarah told People. The press fabricated stories of rivalry and discord, feeding the public's appetite for royal scandal. This constant barrage of rumors and negative publicity put a strain on their friendship. Despite their close bond, the external pressures eventually began to take a toll. The media's incessant efforts to create a narrative of conflict between them sowed seeds of doubt and tension. Sarah and Diana, who had once been each other's confidants, found themselves drifting apart. The friendship that had once been a source of mutual support started to erode under the weight of public and media scrutiny. By the time of Diana's tragic death in 1997, their relationship had deteriorated to the point where they were no longer on speaking terms. Sarah expressed her sorrow and confusion about the rift, saying to Harper's Bazaar, "I never knew the reason." This unresolved tension added another layer of grief to Sarah's mourning, as she not only lost a dear friend, but also faced the reality that they had not reconciled before Diana's untimely passing. Sarah Ferguson experienced some of the happiest moments of her life through motherhood. She welcomed her first daughter, Beatrice, in 1988, followed by her second daughter, Eugenie, in 1990. The arrival of her daughters brought immense joy and purpose to her life, offering a sense of fulfillment and stability amid the turbulence of her public and private struggles. Motherhood was a role that Sarah embraced wholeheartedly. "One of the best jobs is that I'm a really good mom," she told People. She found great satisfaction in nurturing her daughters, teaching them to learn from her own experiences and mistakes. Her dedication to being a mother was evident in the strong, loving relationship she cultivated with Beatrice and Eugenie. Sarah was determined to raise her daughters to be strong, independent, and stable women, capable of navigating the complexities of their unique positions within the royal family. Sarah's approach to motherhood was deeply influenced by her own upbringing and the challenges she faced. She was committed to providing her daughters with the emotional support and guidance she often lacked during her own childhood. This commitment extended to her grandchildren as well. On the podcast, The Matt Haycox Show, she shared that she had become a great-grandmother and continued to impart the same values and lessons to her grandchildren. "I teach my grandchildren the same way as I've taught my two beautiful girls who are the best ambassadors for good mothering because I'm a darn good mom," she said, via the Daily Mail. The bond between Sarah and her daughters grew stronger over the years. Beatrice and Eugenie have consistently stood by their mother, offering unwavering support when she faced public scrutiny and personal challenges. Their relationship is characterized by mutual respect, love, and a deep sense of loyalty. As body language expert Judy James noted, The trio often appears more like three friends sharing life and even partying together. The trio effect of Fergie and her daughters will often look more like three friends sharing life and even partying together, she said to The Express. Sarah Ferguson's marriage to Prince Andrew began with high hopes and public fanfare but was short-lived, ultimately lasting only 6 years. The initial stages of their marriage were marked by separation and loneliness due to Andrew's naval commitments. Shortly after their wedding, Andrew was deployed by the Navy, leaving Sarah to cope with the responsibilities and pressures of royal life largely on her own. The isolation she felt during these early years was compounded by the birth of their first daughter, Beatrice. When Beatrice was born, Andrew got 10 days of shore leave, and when he left and I cried, they all said, "Grow up and get a grip," she recounted to Harper's Bazaar. The emotional strain of his absence began to take a toll on their relationship, and they started to drift apart. As time went on, the distance between them grew, and rumors of extramarital affairs began to surface. The royal couple's troubles became public knowledge, further straining their already fragile marriage. The most infamous incident occurred when Sarah was photographed on holiday with her financial advisor, John Bryan. The scandal erupted when a photo surfaced of Bryan apparently sucking on Sarah's toe, which led to a media frenzy and widespread public outrage. This incident, often referred to as the toe-sucking scandal, was a significant blow to Sarah's reputation and further strained her relationship with the royal family, via the Washington Post. In addition to the scandal with John Bryan, there were also rumors of an affair with an American named Steve Wyatt in the early 1990s. These allegations only added fuel to the fire, making it increasingly difficult for Sarah and Andrew to maintain their marriage. The constant media scrutiny and public judgment created an environment of tension and mistrust, pushing the couple further apart via Mirror. Sarah's personal life was spiraling out of control during this tumultuous period. She later opened up about her struggles in an interview with Rosie magazine, admitting that she was overwhelmed by debt and living an unsustainable lifestyle. "I had out-of-control debts, an out-of-control lifestyle that I couldn't keep up anymore. I'd now ruined my marriage," she said, reflecting on the chaos that had engulfed her life. The immense pressure and stress she was under led to a breakdown, compounding the difficulties she was facing both personally and publicly, via ABC News. In 1992, Sarah and Andrew officially announced their separation. The announcement marked the beginning of a long and painful process of disentangling their lives. 4 years later, in 1996, their divorce was finalized, bringing an end to their marriage, via Hello. Despite the acrimonious nature of their separation, Sarah and Andrew managed to maintain a relatively amicable relationship for the sake of their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. Even though the marriage between Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew ended in divorce, their bond remained strong in the years that followed. Their commitment to co-parenting their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, played a significant role in maintaining their close relationship. "We are co-parents who support each other and believe that family is everything," Sarah told The Telegraph. This mutual support and dedication to their family became a cornerstone of their post-marital relationship, allowing them to navigate their roles as parents effectively. In 2011, Sarah revealed in an interview with Good Morning America that despite their separation, she and Andrew were still living together. "We're a wonderful unit. We still live together," she said, highlighting the unconventional but harmonious arrangement they had established. This living situation underscored their ability to put their differences aside for the sake of their daughters and maintain a unified family environment. Their unique relationship has often led to speculation and rumors about the possibility of them remarrying. Various publications and royal experts have suggested that a reconciliation could be on the horizon. However, Sarah addressed these rumors in a 2021 interview with The Telegraph, stating that they were content with their current arrangement. "All I can say is that we're happy with the way we are right now," she said. We always say we are the most contented divorced couple in the world. We're divorced to each other, not from each other. This statement encapsulates the unusual but deeply affectionate bond they share, one that has perhaps grown stronger after their divorce. In 2010, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, found herself at the center of yet another scandal that would have a profound impact on her public image and personal life. The controversy began when she was accused of soliciting money from a reporter in exchange for access to her ex-husband, Prince Andrew. The incident unfolded when Mazhar Mahmood, a reporter for the now-defunct News of the World, disguised himself as a wealthy businessman and met with Sarah. During their meeting, which was secretly recorded, Sarah allegedly asked for $500,000, promising him extensive access to Prince Andrew. "That opens up everything you would ever wish for. I can open any door you want, and I will for you. Look after me, and he'll look after you. You'll get it back tenfold," she reportedly said. The release of the tape by News of the World caused a media firestorm. The public was shocked by the Duchess's apparent willingness to sell access to a member of the royal family, and the backlash was swift and severe. Sarah quickly issued a public apology, acknowledging her mistake and expressing deep regret for her actions. She described the incident as a serious lapse in judgment, but despite her efforts to make amends, the damage was done. The scandal further tarnished her already controversial reputation and reinforced negative perceptions of her in the eyes of the public and the media. For Sarah, the scandal was a devastating blow. As she later recounted, the incident continued to haunt her for years. Town and Country highlighted the enduring impact of the scandal on her public image, noting that she struggled to shake off the negative press and public scrutiny that followed. Her media attorney even remarked to her, "I think you probably are the woman in the world who has had more bad front pages than any other." Rather than being demoralized by this comment, Sarah chose to see it as a testament to her resilience. "I took it as a huge compliment. I'm really proud that I'm still here," she said, reflecting on her ability to endure and persevere despite the numerous challenges she faced. After Sarah Ferguson's bribery scandal and the infamous toe-sucking incident, her standing within the royal family plummeted. The dual controversies significantly tarnished her reputation, causing a rift that seemed almost insurmountable. As a result, Sarah found herself increasingly ostracized by the royal family, who were keen to distance themselves from the negative publicity she had attracted. Prince Philip, in particular, was vocal about his disapproval. According to a source who spoke to the Express, Prince Philip found Sarah's behavior so distasteful that he refused to allow her to stay at Sandringham House during Christmas visits. "When she comes up for Christmas, she's not allowed to stay in the house," the source revealed. "To be frank, the Duke of Edinburgh doesn't like her." This exclusion underscored the extent to which she had fallen out of favor with her former in-laws, highlighting the deep divide that had developed between her and the royal family. The estrangement was further evidenced in 2011 when Sarah was notably absent from her nephew Prince William's wedding to Kate Middleton. The omission from the guest list was a stark indicator of her standing within the family at the time. Rather than dwelling on the snub, Sarah chose to focus on her own well-being. She sought solace and distance from the media frenzy by traveling to Thailand. "I didn't think I was probably worthy to go to their wedding," she candidly told Town and Country. "I took myself to Thailand, actually, to be far away from it so that I could try and heal." Despite these setbacks, Sarah Ferguson's relationship with the royal family has shown signs of improvement over the years. Her journey to regain their acceptance has been gradual and marked by both personal growth and a commitment to change. By 2018, she had started receiving royal invitations once more, signaling a thaw in relations. A significant milestone in this reconciliation came when she attended the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Her presence at such a high-profile royal event indicated that the family was willing to extend an olive branch and that Sarah was making strides in repairing her reputation. Sarah Ferguson's steadfast support for her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, in the wake of serious assault allegations, has been a source of both shock and admiration. Despite the gravity of the accusations against Andrew, Sarah has remained a vocal and unwavering advocate for him. Her decision to stand by him, particularly during such a tumultuous period, has stirred significant public and media reactions. In interviews, Sarah has been vocal about her support for Andrew. Speaking to People, she made a strong statement regarding her stance. "Whatever challenges he has, I will stand firm to the co-parents that we are together," she said. She emphasized her belief in his character, asserting, "I believe that he's a kind, good man, and he's been a fabulous father to the girls." Her public declarations have painted Andrew in a positive light, underscoring her personal conviction about his character and their shared responsibilities as parents. Her support did not waver even as the scrutiny around Andrew intensified. In an interview with Times Radio, Sarah reiterated her praise for him, describing him as a very good and kind man. This consistent endorsement reflects her deep personal belief in Andrew's integrity, despite the serious allegations that have been levied against him. Sarah's public defense of Andrew has been more than just silent solidarity. She has actively spoken out in his favor. Royal commentator Penny Junor highlighted this aspect of Sarah's support, noting to The Guardian, "She has not just stood silently by his side, she actually speaks out in favor of him." This proactive approach has set Sarah apart from others who might have chosen to remain silent or take a more neutral stance in the face of such allegations. Sarah Ferguson's tumultuous relationship with the British press has been one of the most profound struggles of her life. For decades, the tabloids subjected her to relentless scrutiny, often magnifying her personal flaws and controversies to fuel their stories. The intensity and cruelty of this media attention took a significant toll on her mental health and self-esteem, creating a lasting impact that she has grappled with for years. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Sarah, often referred to as Fergie, found herself at the mercy of a voracious press corps eager to exploit her every misstep and scandal. From the toe-sucking scandal to financial woes and allegations of misconduct, the press coverage frequently painted her in a negative light, contributing to a constant barrage of criticism and mockery. This relentless media attention not only invaded her privacy, but also reinforced feelings of self-doubt and shame. In her later years, particularly as she entered her 60s, Sarah began to confront and come to terms with the deep-seated trauma caused by the press. Reflecting on her experiences, she admitted to People that overcoming this trauma has been a lengthy and arduous process. "It's taken a great deal of work to get over it because I believed every word that the front pages told me. It was a self-shame. I'm stratospherically sensitive," she revealed. This admission underscores the profound impact that public judgment and media attacks had on her sense of self-worth and mental health. Sarah's sensitivity to public criticism and her internalization of the negative press contributed to a self-destructive mindset. She acknowledged that, despite her efforts to move past these issues, the damage to her self-esteem has lingered. "She's still with me, that person who thinks she's fat, ugly, and disgusting, and she still has to have her hair done to talk to you, but she's now not so vocal," she shared with Town and Country. This candid reflection reveals how deeply ingrained these negative self-perceptions have been, even as she has worked to overcome them. Despite the ongoing struggle with self-image, Sarah expressed a sense of liberation and self-acceptance as she aged. At 61, she feels she has finally achieved a degree of freedom from the self-sabotaging tendencies that once plagued her. "The truth is, I am 61 years old, and I'm free of the self-sabotaging Sarah," she declared. This statement marks a significant milestone in her personal journey, indicating that she has reached a point where she can assert a more positive and self-affirming identity. In her 60s, Sarah Ferguson took a bold step towards pursuing one of her long-held passions, writing. Her debut novel, Her Heart for a Compass, marked a significant shift in her career as she ventured into the world of literature with a light-hearted romance. For Sarah, this transition was not just a professional change, but a deeply personal one, symbolizing a chance to redefine herself and find a fresh start after years of public scrutiny and personal challenges. The journey to becoming an author was fraught with its own set of difficulties. Sarah candidly shared her apprehensions about stepping into the public eye once more. "It has been really hard putting myself above the parapet," she told Town & Country. The prospect of facing public scrutiny and criticism was daunting for her, particularly given her history of struggling with media attention. Despite her concerns, she embarked on the endeavor with a sense of determination and hope. Her Heart for a Compass was intended to offer readers a charming escape through its romantic narrative. However, the reception was not as favorable as Sarah might have hoped. The novel received predominantly negative reviews from critics. The Times, for instance, awarded it only 2 stars and criticized it as a slog, while the Telegraph described it as an interminable doorstopper. These harsh assessments were a blow to Sarah, especially given the effort and vulnerability involved in her literary debut. Despite the critical backlash, Sarah Ferguson viewed the publication of her novel as a significant achievement and a much-needed fresh start. For her, the act of writing and releasing a book represented more than just a career move. It was a personal triumph and an opportunity to begin anew. "I personally believe today is a first in the new normal," she remarked. "This is a first, that I can start a new career at the age of 61. Her optimism and resilience in the face of adversity were evident in her perspective on this new chapter of her life. What do you think about Sarah Ferguson's tragic life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.